Hello, Elyse here from Miss McKenna's Life Leverage, and welcome to my Plan With Me video for March. Please excuse my voice, I'm not very well again, but I hope you enjoy the video nonetheless. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit how I'm changing the way I look at my weekly tracker so that it's more encouraging and motivational, and how I've taken scissors to paper to improve my weekly daily hybrid pages. But first, I wanted to do a brief flip through of what I've got so far for February. I gave myself a word a day to focus on and script about every morning using my Alpha Blocks book, and I've very much enjoyed this because I felt like it set me up with a positive frame of mind as soon as I started my day, so I found that super uplifting. I also started my new fibro tracker to help me recognise anything that caused a flare-up, and also just to remind me to give myself a bit of a break when I'm not on top form. So I've got my habit tracker at the top of the page, and underneath I have my little dots to represent when I'm on my period. I use an empty circle for light days and ones that are filled in for heavy to normal days because it's nice and simple. And then at the bottom I have my mood tracker. So not surprisingly, my mood is a lot better when my fibro symptoms aren't as intense. And then you can see where I'm in more pain or I'm feeling unwell or tired, my mood drops significantly, which seems obvious, but I'd never put two and two together before. So when I noticed the correlation, I was like, oh, that's why I get low moods. It seems obvious, but apparently I needed the visual representation to catch on. The next page is my thought changing process page, which I'll add to throughout the year. Then I have my morning scripting for my word a day. And then I've got my weekly daily hybrid layout, which I've been slowly developing to suit my needs. And here I've got my mini weekly tracker that I've tweaked, and I'll talk more about how I'm filling that in later. So that's what I've got so far for February. And before going into March, I wanted to give a quick shout out. My rubbish screenshot doesn't do this picture justice, but this is a beautiful recreation from Lady Verona on Instagram, who, by the way, has one of the cutest cats I've ever seen. So, on to my March planning. So, I apologise for the smudge in the bottom left hand of the screen. It's there the whole time. I didn't notice it while I was filming, so hopefully it doesn't distract you too much. And I was cutting, the sort of yellowy bits from lilies that stain everything. I was trying to cut those head stems out, and I've stained my fingers with that because I'm always getting my hands dirty, so I apologise for that also. But anyway, for March, I really struggled to think of a theme for this month, and I was sort of procrastinating about it. And then it got to a point where I thought I really need to get this video out, so I just picked sort of sea and water stuff. And to be honest, I just sort of took the chance to do a bit of doodling. You could probably hear my little one. He's downstairs. The other half's trying to trying to corral him while I'm not very well. Also, this piece of paper that keeps coming into the shot, it was a hat that my 8-year-old made me, and I forgot he put it on me. So it sort of comes in and out of shot, but eventually I do take it off when I realise it's there, so it will disappear. Anyway, as usual, I've cheated and traced the lettering into my journal because I'm no good with cursive yet. And I've had quite a few questions about how I trace things into my bullet journal, and it's really simple. I type out what I want to write in the font on my laptop, then I just get some bog standard tracing paper and put it on my laptop screen, and then I trace over the word with pen first because it means there's less lead everywhere. And then on the back side of the tracing paper, I go over the pen marks in a soft lead pencil. Then I just place the tracing paper where I want on my page and rub over the pen side with my pencil, covering all the marks I've made so that it transfers to the paper. It sounds more complicated than it is, and it's a bit time consuming. But if you'd like me to do a really quick video of that so you can actually see how I do it, let me know in the comments and I shall try and do that for you. So I'm just finishing off by adding some colour to this page. I picked just a couple, I think about 3 or 4 different colours, which I used throughout the whole of the spread to keep it nice and simple. And I've used my Tombow dual brush pens for this, and I will leave a link as usual for those in the description. And that is a Pilot V5 pen, I think. Let me just double check, I've got it here. Yes, it's a V5 high tech point Pilot pen, which is brilliant. It's nice and black and it comes out beautifully. The only thing is it does smudge ever so slightly if you rub the Tombows across them too quickly before it's dried. So that's my March page, pretty much my cover page all done. And then we are on to my monthly spread. So I tend to keep exactly the same layout because it always worked for me. I've got plenty of space, and the box sizes are 5 by 6, and I always leave a little space on one of the sides so that I can write any extra notes for myself, to-dos, or more space for writing in appointments and things that I might not have enough space for in the actual boxes. Details like times and places, that sort of thing. And in the top left hand corner I've drawn a koi carp. I say I've drawn it, it's another thing that I've actually traced. I would say that I'm usually fairly artistic, but I don't always have the time I want to create and draw and do my own thing, especially when I'm trying to get these videos out for you if I've not been very well or I've been working a lot. So if I haven't got time to create my own thing, I will just go and find something beautiful and trace it in. So it's a good tip for anybody who's not artistic that wants to add a bit of art into their journal. So for those of you who have asked me to do a video on how I use my Alpha Blocks book, I am actually compiling a list of some of the ways I use it, some of the processes and things I use in my morning or evening routine to help me focus my mind on my goals, flesh out creative ideas, uplift myself. There are so many ways I use it, so I'm working on doing a video for you with that information. And at a later date, I'm also thinking about trying to find a financially viable way to create some Alpha Blocks books for you so that you can have your own books to do these processes with. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss any updates on that if it's something you're interested in. So now we're on to my habit and fibro tracker. I haven't added in my mood to the spread this time because now that I've finally noticed my dip in mood seems to coincide with flare-ups, I wanted to see if my habits are affecting my health. So the habits I'm tracking come in 3 sort of categories. The first is diet. I tend to miss breakfast and lunch quite a lot, and even though I'm trying to eat more regularly, I do seem to struggle with it. So I'm hoping that if I can actually see that it's affecting my health, it'll give me the extra boost to pay more attention to that particular aspect of self-care. The next category is things that I sometimes find physically taxing, like housework, cooking, and running errands, because if I find that it's contributing to my flare-ups, I can consider if I need to delegate more tasks rather than take all the responsibilities on myself. And finally, the last few habits are self-care activities that I'd like to do more of. I think it's very common to put yourself at the bottom of the priority list when you have children or extra responsibilities. So I want to see if taking more time for myself will increase my energy levels and overall well-being, because if I'm feeling happier and better in myself, I can take better care of my family and other aspects of my life. The 3 lower graphs are to once again track my pain levels, energy levels. I'm feeling just sort of poorly in a way that I can't quite put my finger on, which is really common with fibromyalgia. Again, this sort of spread can be used for other medical conditions. You would just change the categories that you're tracking, like anxiety levels, irritability levels, anger levels, all those sorts of things. And I'll be adding my period tracker along the top of my habits tracker using the dots again, because I noticed my flare-up was during my period, and I want to find out if that's a common thing and something that's contributing to it, or if it's just a coincidence. And I've moved my mood tracker into my weeklies in a way that I can constantly view it throughout the month, and I'll show you how I've done that on the next page. So to start with, I always have my mini calendar because I like to highlight the week that it falls in the month, because it gives me a better idea of how much of the month I've got left. And then over here is where I'm putting my mini tracker. Now, I used to view my mini tracker in a sort of I must do these tasks and check them off my list kind of way. And if I didn't do them as well as I would have liked, or started but didn't complete the tasks, I sort of punished myself because I felt like I couldn't check it off, which was quite disheartening, because I sort of think, well, I did try to do it, but I still can't reward myself with having the satisfaction of checking it off the list as something I'd done and completed. So I've now changed how I'm filling it out. Now, rather than just checking it off as done or leaving it blank as not done, I'm using dots to show how much effort I've put in. So for example, if I've drunk my full 2 litres of water, I can give myself a full size dot. If I've only drunk one, I can give myself half a dot. And if I've only had a little water, I can give myself just a small dot. So the best thing about doing it this way, for me anyway, is that I can visually see the effort I've put into achieving my goals. And it's not even just achieving my goals. I'm now looking at it as if it's a visual representation of all the effort and progress I'm making in becoming the improved version of myself that I want to be. I'm no longer using it as just a task, but more of a motivation to see that, yes, I am putting in the effort to become the best version of myself that I can be. And it's so satisfying to be able to see it filled in and know that each dot on the page is a step closer to fulfilling my desires of self-improvement. It helps me feel motivated and proud and uplifted. So yes, it's a small tweak, but it makes a big improvement. So you can see here in January where I've got a couple of dots and I sort of filled it out and I did a bit and I didn't do a bit. And then I thought, this isn't working. So then I moved on to this spread, and now I look at these dots and I think, yeah, look at all that effort I've put in. Look at all these steps I'm taking to become who I want to be. And it's just more encouraging, and it, really motivates me to do better. So I'll keep using this and I shall see how it goes. So this here is my sleep log. I managed to work out, because I've been doing this, someone suggested, and it was a brilliant idea. And I've been able to notice that actually when I get up early, I seem to just have a better day. I'm more productive and actually happier. Now, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I definitely feel better when I get up around sort of 5 or 6 o'clock. And I think it's because I take the time out in my morning routine to sort of do the things I need to do to prepare myself for the day ahead. And it really does make a difference. So I'm going to keep tracking that and carry on aiming for sort of 5, 6 o'clock before the kids have got up and I have to do the school run and all that sort of thing. So yes, there's my sleep log. Then I've got each day, so this way I can see everything at a glance. I can write in my appointments at the beginning of the week, and then for the rest of the week, each day, I'll fill in the day as it comes so that I can write what I need to do that day. And then underneath, oh look, I'm just filling it in, make it look pretty. And underneath, I'm on Bullet Journal Junkies on Facebook, which is a really lovely group. And I saw this massacre that this person had done to their bullet journal, and it's brilliant. One second, I'll find the name. Okay, I found it. Her name is Taryn Lozano, I think. And she's decided to cut the bottom half of the pages, because she put, so I really want to use a habit tracker, but anytime it's been on my been on its own page, I didn't keep up with it, so I did some butchering, and then she did this little video of how she'd sort of cut it. So you can see I can flip it across and still see my whole mood tracking. So thank you very much, Taryn, for the tip. I think it's brilliant. I love it. So that's what I'm going to be using this month. So on my final pages, I've just got a space to write down. I mean, it's what people would call a brain dump page. Don't like the term brain dump, but still never liked it, still don't like it. So I haven't titled it, but it's just a space to put all my notes or musings, things, anything that I need to write in that doesn't have a designated spot. And I've put it at the end of my March spread because I don't like having to keep flipping through pages to get where I need to go. So it's at the back, so it's there if I need it, but it's not in the way of all my other spreads because they're the ones I'm going to use the most often. So that's pretty much the end of my March spread. I hope you've enjoyed it despite my croaky voice and my extra ramblings today. If you want to find me on Instagram, I am Miss McKenna369. I also have a channel on Facebook, Miss McKenna's Life Leverage. It's small at the minute, but it is growing, and I will start updating more regularly. And that's it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.